Welcome to the Jesus Over Everything podcast, connecting the power of God's Word to everyday life.
Welcome to the Jesus Over Everything podcast. I am David Doran Jr., and I am here with Austin Hunt, the legend.
Not the legend.
Not the legend. No, you're a legend to me. Austin is back in town, and he's been serving as an extension of our church's burdens in Zambia, Africa. Most members, I hope, have been around and know him, but also if we're reaching people, then hopefully there's a number in the last, how many months you've been gone? 20?
I've been gone, close to 20. I think it's June 2024. So we're in November now. So.
June 2024.
Yeah.
So it's been a good chunk of time that you've been gone. There have been some people that we've welcomed, and actually we have a couple of people that hopefully we're welcoming soon. So, all right, before we talk about your whole life, tell people when did you become a member of Resurrection Church?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was first a member at Inner City Baptist Church. I had moved to Michigan in 2013, I believe.
Okay.
Rachel will correct me, but 2013. And you were a member there at the same time.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was just being a Christian in that church and going to Wayne State University.
That's right.
And then you approached me and asked if I would be interested in joining you with the church plant in Lincoln Park. So that would have been end of 2015. Yeah.
Well, beginning maybe might have been May of 2015 or April of 2015. Does that sound right?
Yeah. So I've been around since the start.
Since the beginning.
Yeah.
So you're studying, what were you studying at Wayne State?
I was just studying computer science. Yeah.
Studying computer science. And now our memories could be just different because they're fallible.
Yes.
But I remember preaching at Inner City on a Sunday night about the church plant and you coming up near the piano and talking to me about it. Is that,
I remember.
You remember that?
Yeah.
I feel like you came up to me, which I was like, man, thank God, because my life would be very different if you hadn't.
It's true. Yeah. So I do distinctly remember you sharing your burden about Lincoln Park. And I was interested in helping in whatever way I could.
Yeah.
I don't think I thought at that point that, I'll be on the church planning team. Well, not what I was thinking. I was just, I'll help however you need help.
Yeah.
And then you invited me for lunch. I think we went to that shawarma place next to, right there in Allen Park.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't remember that. I mean, I'm sure it was impactful.
Yeah. It was a really important shawarma. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I just remember you asking if I'd be interested in joining us. And I had just met Rachel and we were pretty serious at that point.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm willing to come as long as Rachel can join too.
That's right. It's funny. And maybe I am remembering it now. It's like they tucked back in the recesses of your brain, but and that's basically a little more than 10 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. Because we are the first week of December. And while we're recording right now, it's late November.
Yep.
We had our first worship gathering of 2015.
Yep, because that summer we had spent quite a bit of time going to different parks.
Yep, cookouts.
Doing cookouts, talking to people. I think that's where we met a couple that me and Rachel spent quite a bit of time at their house. Investing in them.
Yeah, who is this?
Roy.
Yeah.
And Jocelyn?
Yes, they're in the bunch of the pictures. I was just making sure I was remembering the same people. Yep. Yeah, that's right. So, a lot of good memories. Okay, so now, and you ended up, we'll go a little bit of a spoiler alert. You ended up being a pastor at Resurrection Church.
Yeah.
When did you remember what date you became a pastor? Was it 2022? I think it was 2021.
2019. No. No, 2019, it would have been before COVID. So, it was 21. Yeah.
Late 21, I thought, maybe like December of 21.
Yep, December.
And then you served as a pastor at Resurrection, not on the paid staff, but you had an office, which was in the building, which was amazing.
Yep.
And then and then you were sent by the church to Zambia on what date? It just 2024, May 2024?
It was, yeah, we left in June of 24. It was actually Rachel and I's anniversary was the day we were flying out.
That's right. That's right.
I planned those tickets really well.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, totally. Whoops.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to be together the whole day.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
Actually, for like the whole day and
I'm
the whole
going to
night.
take you to Africa for
That's
our
right.
anniversary.
That's right. You didn't fly first class, I'm sure. So,
Yeah.
okay. So, but we commissioned you in 2024. All right. So now if somebody's listening to this and maybe they're not used to the language of commissioning,
Yeah.
what did we send you to do? What's going on?
Yeah. So I've had actually since I left Zambia, and we probably should have talked about the chapters of my life a little bit because
Yeah.
I'm
gonna go back.
I actually grew up in Zambia.
Yes.
So I gained through just living life in ministry, watching my dad be the real deal, really invested in the things you're talking about
Yeah.
self-theologizing, self-propagating,
Yeah.
with local churches there. I just gained a real passion for seeing men trained.
Yeah.
And really at the level that we have here in the U.S. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I think the church over there needs men who are the leader of leaders, who
Yeah.
are going to build God's church there
Right.
and have the equipment to be able to do that in
Right.
a way that is long lasting.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Right.
So anyway, I had a passion for it
Yeah.
leaving there, and my goal was, Lord willing, if nothing else happened, to be able to go back
Right.
in the long run. So my plan was to get my undergrad.
Yep.
I was pretty good at computers and software engineering, so I got
Yeah.
my undergrad in computer science,
Yeah.
and then I went to seminary.
Yeah.
Same seminary you went to,
Detroit Baptist Theological. There we go.
Theological Seminary. Yeah,
So-
it's the place to go.
So when and then as you're serving, your what would you say is the main accomplishment you are setting out to accomplish
Yeah,
in Zambia now?
yeah. So I see it. I mean, I like to tell people that I'm there primarily to serve the church. So
Yeah.
our life is centered around the church there.
Yeah.
Being at Kitwe Church.
Yeah.
And then and being members there right now, we're serving in whatever way we can that helps them. So discipling young men, that kind of thing.
Right.
And then the other way in which we're serving the church, well, I am specifically teaching at Central Africa Baptist University.
Right.
And their goal is to train the next generation of
Right.
servant leaders in Africa
Is that their
for
slogan?
Great Commission living. Yes.
No, it's not.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So listeners are not going to
echoes of
Yes.
something.
Yeah, the listeners are not going to know it, but that slogan is a great articulation, and that reflects Northland Baptist Bible College, Northland International University, where I went to school.
And I did.
You went to school there
I was
too?
there for a year. Yeah.
Yes, the next generation of servant leaders for Great Commission living. Is that right?
In Africa.
In Africa, yes. I mean, I'm just saying that.
Yeah. Well,
there's
not for Northland.
somewhere in my stuff is my servant towel.
Be
Still.
great, serve. Yeah.
Be great, serve, baby.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love that. And was your dad a Northland guy?
He wasn't a graduate of Northland.
Oh,
but
okay.
He had strong ties with several people from there.
Okay, and that's
So-
and that kind of vision. I
So
mean, that's a beautiful
Sam
vision.
Horn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So-
a beautiful vision. So, I mean, I love that. And as soon as you started to say it, I was like, oh, I know those words.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, okay, now we just kind of gave the spoiler alert. You are working to build up the church and build up leaders for the church in Zambia,
Yes.
Africa,
Yes.
in the city of Kitwe.
Yes.
Okay. Now, we're going to come back to that stuff right now, but before we go to your life and how you got to that place, can you tell people briefly, like, give us a sketch of Kitwe and of Zambia?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they have Google, so if you're being lazy
Google
listeners,
Google it, you could see the population and all
but give
that.
us an insider, yeah.
Yeah, so Kitwe is a growing city. I think what a lot of people think of when they think of Africa is, rural, huts,
Yeah.
no water, no electricity.
Yeah.
Which we don't have much electricity right now.
Yeah.
But the city, Africa is urbanizing faster than anywhere in the world right now.
Yeah.
And it is pretty incredible, even in the 10 years that I was away from Zambia, to see how much has changed.
Yeah.
I was shocked by the malls that are there and
Yeah.
the hotels that are there. And it's incredible that I can go now into the store and I can get almost everything that you would expect to see in a store here in the US.
Right.
Maybe not as much, maybe not as high quality, but there's a lot that you can get and do in the city now. But it's still, Africa is still, or Zambia at least, is still, there's a very large disparity between the people who can afford those kinds of things and the people who cannot.
Yeah.
And the vast majority of the population is living day to day. $1 a day is the average income. And so it's a large disparity that you see. And so I can go 5 minutes or less from where I'm living right now. I mean, if you were to Google Kitwe and go to look for the river. Along that river is one of the largest squatters compounds in Zambia. You have in a small area hundreds of thousands of people who are living in poverty conditions.
Right.
And there is a church that has been planted there, which is amazing, and they are self-theologizing, self-supporting, self-governing within the context of that compound.
Of that slum.
Yep.
Is that, I mean, that's what, it may not be the right slogan now.
Slum,
I mean, that's what people always call them, like Kibera in Kenya.
It would kind of be like that.
Yeah. Like
the idea of a slum.
What do they call them? Favelas in Brazil, that kind of thing. Yeah. Wow. And keep this close to your mouth, but
okay.
No, you're good. That's, man. Yeah. I think about the people and the opportunity, like the need of places like that. The ones living in darkness have seen a great light. Yeah. The way the scriptures talk about it.
Yeah. The foolish of the world God is using to shame the strong. Yeah. It's the poor and the people who we consider outcasts.
Things that
God, that God is pleased to use to bring himself glory, which is an amazing thing.
Yeah. The things that are not, shaming the things that are. Yep. Yes, man. That's incredible to think about. And really, I do think, I respect and deeply love what you're doing. I think about men who serve in places like that. In East Africa, I mean, in Tanzania and Kenya were the places I've had experience, but man, just what an incredible privilege to be serving the local church, period. But then to see others sacrifice so greatly to serve the church, it always keeps me aware of the privileges I've just been I have. So, okay, so now Zambia, fast growing, urbanizing. So there's cities. It's not huts and spears and all that. There's still that, but there's a great disparity between the haves and the have-nots in some ways.
Yes, and so the center of the country, you have some of the largest cities. Which is where Kitwe is in the north.
Why is it in the center of the city or the country?
I think it has to do with like the economics, like the roadways of the country. The mines are a big factor in the way that the country is set up. Yeah. So
copper mines, am I remembering?
Copper mines. Yeah. Last I heard, they were the third largest producer of copper in the world.
Interesting.
That could have changed, but so copper is the big moneymaker there. And I mean, mining in general is really what brings most of the money into the country.
Interesting.
So the cities have grown up around where the copper mines are. But I know that if you go either east or west, you get into extremely rural areas. Yeah. And maybe what people mostly think of when they think of places in Africa. Yeah.
The bush.
But to me, it's strategic to be in those economic centers because that is where you are able to find and train and have the resources to train men who will then, and the churches with resources in order to send out men into these other areas that need the gospel.
Yeah.
And it seems to me to be what Paul's strategy was.
Yeah.
So you go to the urban areas, you go to where there is a large population, and from there is where the gospel spreads out. And it's always fascinating to me when he says, there's nowhere else for me to preach.
Yeah. Right.
I need to go to Spain. And you go, Paul, there's plenty of area that you have definitely not been to.
Right.
But he was thinking strategically.
Thinking about there are local churches here who can advance the mission here.
Yeah. They will plant churches in the areas that will not.
The phrase in Thessalonians that the gospel had rang out through the whole region.
Yeah.
That saturating the region was that church's problem, not Paul's.
Yes.
Or, opportunity. Okay. So I want to step back and I want to ask you, all right, you're in this African nation and you're giving your life to building up leaders and churches for Africa. Tell us the story of like making a missionary. So if you think about, we've talked about the final, or not the final chapter, hopefully you're not dying today or anything like that. I mean, if you do, what a podcast. Man. We can release it,
Yeah,
we'll send it for people. We'll have it edited ready for the funeral, but that's morbid. But we know where you are now. Tell us your understanding of how you got there and start by giving us chapters and headings to kind of the phases of your life up until this point.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know if I'll do this great on the spot. But for me, I think there's a distinct period of my life I'd call the early years. Just growing up as a little kid in Africa, the experiences that I had.
You grew up in Kitwe?
Before I came to Christ. Yeah.
Yep. And how far from where you currently live did you grow up?
A few feet.
Yeah.
Actually,
where you currently live.
So my parents. It's interesting. The house that I live in now, I'm renting from my parents, and that place was where the first church was planted, there in Kitwe in Riverside Extension.
Wow.
So Faith Baptist Church of Riverside, in the backyard of where I'm staying right now. That's where it started, and that's where we lived originally.
Yeah.
And it's gone kind of full circle. We lived in several other places, and then eventually my parents had the opportunity to get that place. And they've renovated it, and now
that's cool.
Live there. Yeah,
that's cool. So you're in many ways. This is a missionary returning home, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were born where?
So I was born in the Kalalushi Mine Hospital, which is maybe 30 minutes from
Zambia.
Kitwe. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So you're born in Zambia, and then you were telling us your early years.
So so the early years. So that I have some distinct memories of the church being built.
Yeah.
A lot of people who came to know Christ in those early years.
Yeah.
And then I came to know Christ, I believe, when I was 5.
Yeah.
And I think I grew quite a bit, though, after I was maybe 12.
Yeah.
So those were the years that like God really got a hold of my heart.
Yeah.
And I think that, I don't know how I'd title that. The revival years.
Sanctification process.
Yeah. So I think at that point, when I was around 12, I had realized that there were really a lot of sins that I was holding on to and hiding.
Yeah.
I had been stealing from my parents. I had been lying to them about various things. I was like a really good pastor's kid, memorizing all the verses, and we didn't call it Awana, but we had like a junior camp every year.
Right.
But I was like cheating and stuff to be the best, and God really just worked in my heart. I remember one night just negotiating with God, just like, I'll make this right when I'm an adult. I'll tell my parents everything.
Right.
But dead people don't twitch and they don't feel any pain over their sin.
Yeah. Right.
So in looking back at it, I see it as confirmation that I truly was a believer.
Yeah.
And then Christ really worked on my heart. And so finally I made those things right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I told my parents what I'd done. I confessed. I don't know if I had to do this, but I thought I had to. So I stood up and confessed to the church on like testimony night.
Yeah. You're like, I've been cheating
on all the verses.
Bible memory. Yeah.
But God really used those years to grow me. And then I think it was 2014.
Mm-hmm.
No, sorry. Was it 2007. Sorry, my brain. 2007, my dad resigned from being the pastor at Faith Baptist Church Riverside.
Yeah.
And he had somebody who he had mentored to bring up as the next pastor, Pastor Saidi Jashimba, who really had invested a lot in my life.
Right.
And we went to the States, and we were there for a year furlough. And I think that would, if I had to label that time, it was the cynical years for me, because I struggled to be in the U.S. that year.
Yeah.
That was,
how old were you?
I was grade 8, so I was 13 or 14.
Yeah.
So you know what happens that time of life.
Yeah.
You're making a lot of transitions physically, and for me, it was a real challenge. I was very cynical towards my peers.
Yeah.
And like
where
self-righteous even, you know.
where was where'd you go?
So we were in New Hampshire. My parents are sent out of Merrimack Valley Baptist Church.
So you spent the year there.
Yep.
Yeah.
In their school. Yeah. So
yeah, that could be I could see that being a very disorienting if you're 12 years of your life, essentially, you'd been in Zambia.
Yeah.
And then you have to spend a year in America.
Yes.
And you look American.
I do. But
in some sense. I mean, people think of a standard white boy as American, but yeah.
But I'm just a mix of things because you almost don't feel at home anywhere.
Yeah.
We grew up homeschooled, so we had kind of mostly an American education.
Yeah.
But also my parents were very intentional about having us as part of things. I had Zambian friends over almost every day, you know.
Right.
And actually I got to reconnect with a few of them since I've been back in Zambia. It's been neat.
Right. That's cool.
So being in the States was tough, but I think God was preparing me because I think he used that to just make it such I came back to the States for college with such a good attitude, not to pat myself on the back or anything, but just I understood what I was facing, and I almost viewed it as another mission field. You know, I'm coming to be a blessing to people, and I will try to adjust, and I understand there's a cultural thing going on here, and I'm not going to stand above people and say, well, you don't do it the way that you should, and be cynical anymore. I actually, God used that to help me to just...
It prepares you.
Yeah.
So at 13, you were there, and then you came back at 18?
No. So we were there for a year. So 2008, we came back to Zambia, and that year, so 14 to 17, those 3 years, I was just on fire for Christ. Really loved being there. Yeah. So plugged in as many ministries as I could be.
Was it connected to the trip in America? Like coming home felt refreshing, or why?
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. God was doing a work in me.
Yeah.
So, so Steve Hafler is a missionary out there as well. At that time, he was in Zambia. He no longer is there. I think he was in Colorado for a while, pastoring a church, but he was intentional with me, and he wanted to plant a church in a place called Wisakili, which is just outside of Kitwe. Yeah. It's a mining town. Yeah. So not the lowest of the low, but it's kind of not middle class, but somewhere between.
Yeah, blue collar, working class.
Yeah. So he wanted to plant a church there, and he had a few students from the college. At that point, the college had already been started.
Yeah.
And he invited me along. He said, "Hey, we're going to do kids ministry, and we'd love to have you be part of that." So I would go with them into Wissahickon, and I had an opportunity to share the gospel and to invest in these kids. And I think that, and taking some classes from CABU and watching Kevin Sherman and others teaching, kind of solidified in my mind that that's, I really would love to be involved in this kind of ministry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then so when did you move to the U.S. for college?
It would have been end of 2012.
So you how old are you?
I am 34.
So then, how are you?
Oh, how old was it? I was 19, yeah.
19.
I turned 19
Okay,
in
so
2012.
from the 13-year-old furlough, you had that window where you kind of dive back into Zambia.
Yeah.
But then at 19, you returned. Now, where did you go right at 19?
At 19, so I went up to Northland.
Okay.
So I was up at Northland for a year.
Give people who don't know anything about Northland the context of it.
So Northland is a school that was out in the boonies in Wisconsin. It was freezing cold.
Yes.
But there were a bunch of people who just were on fire for ministry and missions.
Yep.
And so that's what made it attractive to me.
Yeah. And that is a big shock when you go from Zambia. What's the temperature of Zambia? Is Zambia generally pretty warm?
Yeah. It's, 80s.
Yeah.
During the hot season, it gets up.
So then you go an hour north of Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
What was that like? Was that hard?
It was cold.
Yeah, it was cold. It was just cold.
Yeah. I went to it with a really good attitude. So I was very happy to be there and excited about just connecting with people, being on fire for Christ. And I made a lot of friends and connections. Yeah. I probably was kind of, looking back at it, probably kind of weird because I'm overly friendly.
No, that's good. I'm not putting you on the spot, I know, but missionary kids, like you said, the third culture kid thing of always being a little bit like, wait, I know people are assuming I should kind of get and fit in here because I'm an American. Yeah. But I don't have that.
But I haven't watched all The Office. I haven't seen all that. Like, I don't have the cultural context.
You don't have the slow and steady drip of little pieces where people get the culture. And so then missionary kids get set up for they're not being weird. They're just not given the whole data set to pull from. Yep. Now
That's
there are some weird missionary kids, just to be fair.
I was one of them. I know.
Okay. No. There's some, dude. Because there's weird Christians. Honestly, my dad would always say that the gospel light attracts many a strange bug. And there are just some freaking weird people, dude. And you're like, okay, well, the Lord loves them, and I guess I have to because you are weird. But that's not what happening to all missionary kids. I sympathize with the idea of like being thrust into a new place. Now, I love going to a new culture, but I have only done it in doses. Yeah. The idea of living somewhere where the culture is different, I'm sure, is really challenging. Yeah. So when you went to school, was that, you feel like you were a little weird, but was it hard to go to school on your own? Because now you're not with your parents. And
I think some of my other siblings had probably a harder time than I did. Mm-hmm. I think your attitude carries a lot of weight. Yeah. For me, it did. Yeah. So I was just excited about it. Yeah. So I had a good time. Yeah. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah. And how long were you at Northland?
I was there for a year. Okay. And providentially, because of Inner City and David Doran, your dad, being out in Zambia, and I connected with him and Kevin Sherman, who was a graduate at DBTS. Right. They had all encouraged me to think about Michigan. Yeah. So after a year, I ended up working this side for the summer. Yeah. At Jackson Dawson. Yeah. And after that, Northland was kind of going through some rough stuff. Yeah. And so I decided to just stick around, be part of Inner City. Right. And get my undergrad at Wayne State. Yeah. Which I'd already started to connect with the ministry Inner City was doing on campus at Wayne State. Right. And so it was just a natural fit for me to just throw myself into that.
Right.
Right. Be involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So,
cool. So then you're down at, who's leading the campus Bible fellowship at Wayne State when you go down there?
Ben
Pastor
Edwards.
yeah.
Pastor Ben Edwards. Yeah.
Yeah. So then you started going to things like that. You
Mhm.
become a member. Now, what year in college are you in?
At that point, it would have been so I was ahead because I had taken some classes from CABU, which back then was CABC. So those they transferred into Northland. So I was a second semester sophomore
When you started?
when I started.
Yeah.
When I started at Wayne State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I remember, what year did you finish at Wayne State?
2017. Yeah.
Was the graduation in the Fox or the Fillmore? It was
You
downtown.
would know better than me.
I went. I went.
I
and
did
watched
too,
it,
but
yeah. I can't
those
remember.
details. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was the Fox.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, it was 20 what year?
2017.
Okay, because I was
Yeah.
gonna say we were in the middle
Yeah.
of the church plan.
So I
think.
took about 5 years,
Yeah.
I think, to finish.
But you
yeah.
were working.
Yeah.
And you were doing those other things. Okay.
Yeah.
So you and now, how did you meet Rachel then?
So actually through Sam and Shiona Ekman.
Okay.
Shiona had gone to
That's right. Yeah.
BJ with Rachel.
Yeah.
And Rachel was looking for a change because she had finished her undergrad and she had moved back home, but she was, wanting to just go out on her own.
Yeah.
And so Shiona had invited her to come to Detroit area and live with her and find a job over here. So
That's right.
I like to say that I'm the reason that Rachel moved to Detroit, but she'll deny that. So
Yeah. Shiona's the reason she moved.
yes,
You're
yes.
the reason she stayed.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you
That's
go.
what that's you just
Yeah.
need to.
Yeah.
So then, what year did you guys get married?
It was 2015.
2015.
Yeah.
So she
Sorry, it was
moved.
2016, June of 2016. We got
Oh yeah, don't mess that one up.
engaged.
Yeah.
We got engaged in 2015.
Oh yeah, June of 2016 because I was looking through pictures.
Yep.
And I saw that.
Yep.
Yeah. So you guys, you from the moment you met to the moment you were married, how long was that for you and Rachel?
It would have been like October of 2014 to the moment we got engaged or we got married.
Well, yeah, it doesn't matter.
So
whatever.
yeah,
So
so
it's
like
a couple years.
October of 2014 is when I met her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
October
somewhere
2014.
around there.
And
yeah.
now, just remind everybody of the wonderful children that follow your train.
Yes. So I have 3 wonderful children. Caspian Elias, he's going to be 7 in January.
See, man.
Yeah.
It is wild.
Yeah.
I know that because Levi's,
I know.
6, but it's
Yeah.
just, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's getting big too.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised how tall
I'm
he
excited.
is.
I'm excited to see him
Yeah.
because I was telling Levi this morning at breakfast, hey, tonight we're gonna have dinner with
Yeah.
Caspian.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
And then Adelaide is 4.
Mm.
She's great.
Yeah.
She's a cute little. She told me the other day that her plans for the future are to be a queen.
There you go.
So
There you go.
she has it all figured out.
She's obviously not American. She's a Zambian, huh?
Yeah. And then Cyrus, he's 9 months. So
Yeah.
he was born in Zambia,
That's
just
right.
just like I was.
Kind of
So,
halfway through.
He and I
yours.
are of the soil.
That's right.
Yes.
Of the soil.
Yeah.
So now, you guys have been married since 2016.
Yep.
So you're coming up on 9 years, or you're past 9 years now.
Mhm.
You're in 10 years. Did Rachel, when you guys were dating, what was your perception of your future at the time you were dating?
Yeah. So my plan had always been to go back to Zambia.
Yeah.
So, and there were moments where I thought maybe that would be changed. I mean, you and me had long conversations about whether that was what I
Yeah.
was going to do. But yeah, I told her, hey, my plan is to go to Zambia. So
Yeah.
if you're not interested in that, then
Yeah.
we'll have to figure something else out.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I got
We'll
a
be
bunch
fri-
of other
we'll
people.
be friends.
Yeah. We'll be Facebook friends. Yes. So,
Yeah.
and she has some history
Yeah.
in
So-
the mission field, right?
And that's really, why one of the reasons why we connected so well.
Hmm.
She's also a third culture kid. She grew up she was born in Central Africa Republic,
Yeah.
and she was there until she was 5.
Yeah.
And then she and her family ended up in France because they were evacuated twice from Central African Republic due to rebels. So finally, they ended up in France for about 9 years, I think, 9 or 10 years. And after that, they ended up retiring from the mission field. And so they're now in Ohio.
CAR speak French?
Yes. It is a French-speaking country. Yeah.
Okay, so Central African Republic goes through turmoil. They end up in what part of France?
They're in Bordeaux.
Bordeaux. I've heard of that. But
Yeah.
I don't know what's there. I just have heard of that.
Yes.
So there you go.
I have too.
Now, so that third culture experience kind of that helped.
It did. Yeah.
You could be weird together.
Yeah, we could be weird together for sure. Yeah.
Good.
And her parents are amazing people. She had also gone through some struggles as a teenager. She was going to public school, and the Lord had really worked in her heart. And so she also got it, she was very open to the idea of going overseas, and excited about it. Even she kind of has a little bit of a, I don't know if you've ever heard the term wanderlust, but the idea of just loving to go to new places and be involved in new, meeting new people. And she has done such a wonderful job being in Zambia.
That's great.
She's connected with people, and it's been really neat to watch.
That's cool.
And you learn something new about your spouse whenever you go to new situations and scenarios, and it's been cool to watch.
That's
her.
cool.
Yeah,
that's fun. That's funny to hear that. I mean, that she's wonderful. I have not thought of her as like, sometimes people typecast that as like an adventurer.
Yeah.
And Rachel's personality doesn't come off as like the adventurer.
Yeah.
But there are people who just, they take the risks in quieter ways and different things. Like,
Yeah,
she's never going to take the mic in the center of the room.
No,
like
she's not.
And who would want her to be? Those people are annoying.
Yeah.
So, but
but she was not she's not driven by fear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great.
So, I mean, we had a baby over there. She wasn't, I'm sure she had some fears.
Yeah. But
she wasn't driven by fear.
Right. That's great.
Yeah, it's been an amazing thing.
That's great. So you guys, you're on the same page about where you wanted to go. Now, you had a ramp of preparation that was kind of running alongside. I mentioned that you were serving as a pastor.
Yeah.
You were part of the church plant. Can you kind of give a picture of how do you remember this mash of both helping to plant Resurrection and also building a company and preparing for ministry in the future? I mean, how do you think back on that? It's like gore, like a horror movie? Or
I think it was being tired a lot.
Yeah.
But I view the work of being in ministry here. I didn't need a position or anything. Just let me disciple people. Let me be involved in whatever's going on.
Yeah.
I view that as just what prepared me. And I think that I learned more from just doing at Resurrection Church than from seminary, at least from a practical standpoint.
Right.
So I view it as, it was a challenging time, but the Lord has really used it.
Yeah. So do you feel, what were you going to say?
Well, I don't know if that answers your question, but
yeah. No, I mean, I've often wondered, I mean, how did you think about that season in terms of priorities? Because I could see people in our church benefiting from a window inside your mind, because you've got, go to the mission field. Very important priority.
Yeah.
Prepare for ministry in seminary. Very important priority. Be a member of a local church. Very important priority. Be a husband, father. Important priority. Be then also the one of the founding teammates in a startup company that's not going to survive without you. You didn't have a clock in, clock out job. You had a job where, if you clock out, the company could fold, right? So here, maybe I'm just loading the deck.
Yeah.
One of the things that I have noticed is people imagining that work-life balance means that life will fit the boxes you've made for it.
Yeah.
and you had a bunch of things that easily could demand to be center of your attention. They're all priorities.
Yep.
You know, and when you say everything's a priority, then you go, nothing's a priority. So how did you navigate that season? How did you think about that?
I would say I wouldn't say I navigated it perfectly. There were times of, let's say, seasons of imbalance.
Yeah.
Where Rachel and I had to decide together. And I learned early on that it's important that we do it together. We decide that we're both going to take this risk or this hard push on. So it was, I think, because we knew there was an end date, especially for the seminary, and the work. Eventually, we knew there would be an end date for that as well. She was willing to. I mean, sometimes it was tough, and we had long conversations, but she was willing to be on board with where we were headed.
Yeah.
And do sacrifice for now. But I would say that for me, like personally, that the only way I was able to get through it was obviously the Lord's grace and dying to my own personal time.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have a lot of extra anything. I mean, I was working, I was either sleeping, working, or with my family, you know, and like I didn't, and I don't know if that's healthy in the long run, because things like just doing your daily, being in the Word, can suffer from that, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's dying to my own, like I don't play Xbox, you know, like, I just didn't have anything like that.
Right. You don't have hobbies.
No hobbies. Like I didn't watch sports. You know?
Now, do you think that the investment in getting seminary trained was worth it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why do you say?
Sure.
Do you say wholeheartedly yes?
Yes.
Do you feel hesitant?
I'm not hesitant. I think there's more value in doing while learning. And so some of the things that I was involved in seminary, like some of the classes, I don't know if I could just tell you what they were about and recall. At the very least, they gave me a framework and a place to go. I have the notes. I kept the notes from every class.
Right.
And I know I can go back and find that information when it'd be useful.
Right.
But it seemed to me like content was like the focus of seminary.
Yeah.
Like, let's get all this content into you.
Right.
And I'm not there. It was valuable,
right,
for sure, to know where all that information is and to be theologically grounded and understand the arguments.
Right.
That was really important. But I'm not sure if I didn't retain it all. That's kind of the
Well, no,
I
think about that too, but I tend to think like, but the pressure and
it's character building.
Yes. And the categories, like it's amazing how things that I thought were important in seminary 5 years ago still are. Some of them I don't think, but there's other pieces that are being pressed on.
Yep.
So I really like the tool. It's almost like, are you going to build a toolbox or have to go out and buy a tool every time you do a project?
Right.
I'm really thankful for seminary because I feel like, okay, I have a toolbox that's pretty ready for most projects.
Right. And I have a framework to work from.
Right. Framework's a good way.
Yeah. And the gaps, I know what the gaps are in my knowledge and where to go and who to talk to try to to
What
fill.
do you think? Now, do you feel like with the opportunity, let's think of a different lane, the opportunity to serve the church while as a non-staff pastor. Mm-hmm. So what were, I wanted to ask about seminary because I think, okay, there's some guys in our church who I think need to really take sacrificial steps towards training.
Yes.
They need to.
I recommend seminary.
Yeah.
I want to be clear.
No, that's fine. No,
I'm teaching at an
you're
institution.
Teaching one. Well, I know you're committed to it.
Yeah.
But then there's also guys who need to think through like, oh, maybe a deacon role or an elder role needs to be a part of my life while I'm not going to make a career switch. Mm-hmm. So they are thinking about a non-staff leadership role
Right.
in the life of the church.
Right.
How did you navigate that? Was that challenging for you? Was it,
Yeah.
how was it to be a pastor while also working?
Yeah. So I saw it as, so I had permission. So I viewed being called as a pastor as kind of permission at some level to lead.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had already been doing a lot of things that were what a pastor would do.
Yeah.
So I love meeting with guys one-on-one,
Right.
doing discipleship type activities.
Yeah.
I was teaching,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. I viewed it, I didn't view it as much as that much of a change.
Yeah.
Because I was already doing a lot of the ministry that a pastor would be doing.
Right.
The biggest thing that changed was being in like the pastoral meetings,
Yeah.
and kind of having more responsibility, right? The idea that what Hebrews talks about is that we are accountable for the souls of the people in the church
Right.
at a level that's different than just the accountability we have as members, right?
Right.
So
Right.
it's an increase in that
Yeah.
pressure, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or responsibility.
Yeah.
But as far as work level, it didn't seem like it was a big step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is on two fronts good, helpful. One, it was part of the reason that God commended you to our church is you were doing the things the scripture called for before you'd been given a title, which many people they wait like, well, when are you gonna ask me to? And it's like, well, the Lord already wrote the letters.
Yeah,
He already
just
said to go do it.
Go do it. Yeah.
And then it does. The title equips, it clarifies, it gives you authority in that, and it's a good gift. But it shouldn't be the first thing. The title should not be first.
Right.
And I think that's a good example in your life.
That's how I viewed it. I viewed it as kind of permission to lead and to have a voice that's different than you are if you're a member.
Yeah. I hope more men will. I mean, I really think our church it's grown. We need several more pastors, particularly non-staff pastors, to just embrace the ground game.
Yeah.
The work of
walking
with people.
Yeah, you don't need to be a pastor to have a massive impact. In fact, I view Ephesians 4. The saints are given the leadership to equip them for the work of ministry.
Right.
And so you as a member, I mean, go for it.
Right. Right.
Obviously don't do damage if you don't have, like, if you don't know how to counsel somebody and, their marriage is falling apart, maybe, have some wisdom.
Yeah.
But you should be invested in people's lives as much as you can with the time that you have. I mean, our time is so limited, and we pick things that are a waste of time. So
well, that's an interesting thing you say, because I think that's very true. In an age of professionals, the church is called and invited to be radically different, not unprofessional, but that every member is intentional.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying you do your work crappy or something.
Yeah.
But like the idea that, if this person has an issue to work through, they need a therapist. If they have a thing, they need a pastor. They need a whatever, right? And you're right. The vision of the scripture, Ephesians 4, the teachers, the pastors, they equip the saints, they equip the body to do the work of ministry.
Yep.
Now I'm convinced 98% of what people need is not peculiar. It's not like, you need a specialist. But this day and age, it's all specialists.
Yes.
All right. We need I don't need the surgeon. I need the pinky toe surgeon.
Yeah.
And that's the way the church is. Like the best pinky toe surgeon in the world. And it's like, well, no, you just need a friend to open the Bible with you.
Right.
Which I think you did a great job.
We have to trust the Holy Spirit.
Right.
He is going to work through even your mistakes. I mean, I think about like the mistakes I've made, and I think, okay, God can overcome those. I've said stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And the Lord has overcome that. In fact, sometimes people being mean to me or unintentionally saying something that they shouldn't have said, or they said it intentionally, it came across wrong, or whatever it was. God has used that to change me.
Yeah.
Because I have to respond to it.
Right.
And respond to it by the power of the Spirit and through the word.
Right.
So even our failures are actually what God uses to grow other people. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to step out there and try to be a part of people's lives.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Get in the room and see what happens. You know, the Holy Spirit's the one we trust ultimately.
Yeah.
So now when you were, there was a window of time where you were considering whether or not the long-term future was going to be in Zambia.
Mm-hmm.
And do you want to tell us a little bit about what was going on with that?
Yeah. So the company I work for, and I still work for them, they're the part of the reason I'm out in Zambia so quickly was that I continue to lead the technology organization of a company called HailTrace.
Yeah.
And so your question is, how is that?
At some point you had been training for the mission field.
Yeah.
But you also went through like a decision point where you're like, okay,
so,
am I really doing this?
That's exactly. Okay. So I lost my train of thought. So that helped. So the success of that company has been one of the biggest things that has caused me to wonder if, like, should I go to Zambia?
Yeah.
Right. Or not?
Yeah.
Because I'm really good at what I'm doing there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So should I just, maybe the Lord wants me to just be involved in, I'm just a member of a church and I'm working hard.
Yeah.
And, I'm providing for my family and you know, giving to the church and to missions.
Yeah.
Which I think that really is a noble calling.
Yes.
I don't think, I think we, as Christians, sometimes we think, okay, there's the super Christians, the ones who really do ministry and really are sold out for the Lord. And then there's the members of churches who have to work.
Yeah.
And they kind of like, no, that's not how it is. That's one thing I think I've learned from you is it's not, you know, it's not dishonoring to God or subpar to just be a sold out member of a church, working hard and providing for your family. Yeah. That's a great thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's something that I really worked through. And I think the key thing was the desire to go into missions never went away.
Yeah.
And whenever I conceived in my mind of, okay, I'm going to move away to Oklahoma which is where the company is, you know, I'm going to just do that. I just felt loss.
Yeah.
I just can't do that. That's not what I'm going to do.
Right.
I'd rather sell that and be a poor person, go live over there. And, so to me, that's God used that desire to keep me on track.
Yeah.
But the success of that company is the biggest reason why I would have considered not going.
Yeah. And how did you work through that?
Prayer, talking to people who I trust and love, to my pastors, my wife, and that's how I processed those things. I remember us walking. I mean, you and me, we walked through this neighborhood a few times talking about it.
Was Rachel, were you guys on the same page the whole time? Was there any difference between how you're thinking about it?
No, actually, she has always been very gung-ho to do whatever God has put in my heart to do. She has her opinions of what would be best, but she also is very willing to just do whatever, I think is the way that God's calling us to go. So I've never, so far, haven't had like major pushback from her on a decision like that, which it's been really neat.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So you pretty much, you work through it, and do you remember when you kind of settled that decision in your mind?
I don't know if I remember exactly when.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was probably when we were getting close to being done with seminary,
Yeah.
because now it was, what are we going to do? You know,
Right.
are we going to actually take this step?
Go for it.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, but it wasn't too much of a, it was a struggle, but I think the thing that really solidified it was taking that vision trip in 2013. No,
Yeah.
sorry, 2023 June, we went out to Zambia. And really my question for that, when we went on that trip, which is why I encourage people to do trips like that. My question was, do they actually need me?
Yeah.
Like, Austin has a vision for what he's going to do in ministry.
Yeah.
And everyone's kind of like, okay, I guess, you know,
Right.
we'll let you come out here and
Right.
here's something you can do. You know?
Right.
Or is there a real need that I can fill that the church isn't there asking for and actually want help with?
Right. Serving.
Yeah. And so being out there was a real help in that decision. Like, 'cause I could just see what we would do. And, that encouraged me to say, no, this is really what
Got to get after it.
God wants me to do, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. So how, if somebody, like, obviously being a missionary and working in companies, and that each one has been gifted to serve in the way God intended, and it's foolish for us to compare, contrast, and say, why am I not like Austin, or why am I better than Austin, or whatever. But
it's probably the latter.
no. But why is it people, or how should somebody who's wrestling with what they're supposed to do for the glory of God? Do you have any kind of advice based on, you're somebody who's been pursuing this, you had multiple options in front of you that could have been great and glorifying to God.
Yep.
How should somebody else get through that?
Yeah, that's a good question. What I have learned is that you already know the will of God. You don't need to try to, like, he has made it clear that you are to be plugged in and sold out in his church.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you should start.
Yeah.
And that's actually where you can end too.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you are. I mean, you can be in Oklahoma or North Dakota or Zambia.
Right.
But if you're serving in the local church, pouring yourself out with the gifts that God has given you in that place, you are doing the will of God.
Yeah.
That's what he's told us to do.
Yeah.
Use your gifts in a local church.
Yeah.
In my mind, where you do that matters a lot less than being involved in those things.
Right.
And then God will make the way clear over time. As you pour yourself out in the local church, he will open up opportunities and he'll give you desires to do different things.
Yeah.
You might, through providential means, like you're in the local church and somebody says, hey, we want to do a campus thing. Would you be a part of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'd love to do that. You know what? I'm kind of interested in sharing the gospel with people on campus.
Right.
So then go do that. And then who knows what happens as a result? Maybe you'll start a campus ministry. Or even be involved in planning a church that reaches young people for Christ. I think the which way should I go portion of things is works itself out over time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
with that small, steady faithfulness.
For me, it wasn't like I had 4 choices and they were all like even. There was like, I had this one thing I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
And there were things that were drawing me away from it.
Yeah.
And I had to say, okay, is this wise? Am I giving up? Like, I had to work through some of the things in my own heart of like, am I going to trust the Lord in this decision?
Yeah.
But in the end, it all it works itself out through the advice you get and stuff. Yeah. So
now, if you, if somebody were considering the cost, because you went through a career decision like this, okay, there's an opportunity. It's a wonderful thing to be a member of a local church committed to the Great Commission by serving a specific local church, working a job that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what if somebody in our church were feeling inclined to consider making a career change towards the mission field? Do you have anything you'd want them to, in any ways you'd want to speak to them on that? Or what would you say to them if they're like, I'd be willing to consider it? Why is it worth leaving your job? Because if you're saying, hey, they're both noble and great, why is it worth leaving your job to go somewhere?
Well, if God has gifted you to serve the church in that way, I think you'll be restless until you actually do what God has gifted you to do.
Yeah.
So I would say, first off, I think even with a pastor, right, one of the qualifications is, do you have a desire to do that thing?
Yeah.
And I think that's something God providentially brings into your life, and his Holy Spirit is working in you to cause that. So to me, that's primary. Do you really have a desire to do that? And are you gifted for it?
Yeah.
And if you are, then I would say there are going to be a lot of reasons not to. So
yeah.
Like, are you willing to count the cost and sacrifice comfort for the sake of what Christ has called us to? And what makes that worth it is looking at the end. We are by doing this, by being involved in this ministry, we're actually making the Great Commission happen, right? We're going into all the world,
right,
preaching the gospel, so that there will be many worshipers of Christ,
right,
across the world, right?
Right.
And that has to be, that end goal has to be something that drives you, and it is important to you, in order for you to go through the suffering that it's going to take to get there.
Yeah. I think that stuff. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Preparation. There's pain.
Yeah.
No discipline seems pleasant at the time.
Yeah.
And I do think that choice of the will is I appreciate what you said, because it seems like the desire thing is falling prey for people to the fickleness of our culture.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I did desire this, but now it got hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, no. I remember when I was with God's word open and wise counselors and prayerfully saying, what does God care about? How has he crafted me?
Yeah.
Where do I need to go? And then, but it almost, you could think about like calling being like, it would be very fragile, just like your marriage would be very fragile if there was no point where you just decided.
Yes.
Right? If you constantly were thinking, do I still like this person?
Yeah.
Do I still like this calling?
At some point it is a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's tough. Because it's interesting. Maybe we can talk about it off the podcast, thinking about how God does that. Because I have often wondered, I don't know how he works. He's in charge, not me. For people, some people make the choice and some people don't. They express the same desires, and I think it's just to me, it's God has orchestrated your entire life. Yeah,
and he has gifted you.
Yeah,
and he's put you in his church. He's given you his Holy Spirit.
Yeah,
he's given you specific desires.
Yeah,
and at some point you say, okay, I'm clearly equipped for this. I have a strong desire to do it. And so I've chosen to go this direction. And then the difficulties of that choice will show up. And for me, one of the difficulties was actually success.
Yeah. Right.
In something else.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And so, but in the end, I believe that if God is truly in it, that he will keep you on that path. I mean, that desire will not go away.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, I sympathize with some of the questions. I mean, I haven't succeeded at anything else, but like, I get the idea.
Yeah.
That's good. So now because we don't want to have these go on forever. I'd love to just keep talking with you about it. But if people, they're listening to your story, they're listening maybe a reminder of who God has put in our lives, or first time they're listening to you because they're newer. What are some of the ways that we can be praying? And maybe I'll just say this, give us a couple timeless ways. So if somebody listens to this podcast for the first time next year, give us a couple timeless ways that we can pray for the work that you guys are doing at CABU and the churches there. And then maybe give us one or two that are on your heart right now that maybe we can look back and we listen to it and go, oh, prayer answered, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say pray that the churches there in Zambia will continue. I mean, they're already doing this at some level, but they will continue to have a mindset that missions isn't something that is done to us. Missions is something that we are called to do as the church.
Yeah.
The mission of the church is to spread the gospel, make disciples who will plant churches that then disciple more people, and that cycle continues.
Right.
And the churches there have adopted that in many of the churches in the area that I am have adopted that, but just pray that God will continue to grow them in that.
Yeah.
And we're seeing Kitwe Church, the church that we're a part of in Zambia, just sent out several missionaries, one to a rural area of Zambia. So specifically, you could pray for Lazarus Chanda. He's up in the northern province.
Okay.
Reaching
Lazarus Chanda.
He's reaching a somewhat unreached area of Zambia.
Cool.
And then there's missionaries that have been sent out to Kenya to reach the Somalis.
Yeah.
Ryan.
Yeah, we prayed for him in our prayer meeting.
So continue to pray for him. And pray for the churches to continue to do that kind of thing.
Right.
To send out missionaries and to plant other churches.
Right.
Right. And connected to that is the college. It has been serving the churches there in Kitwe and in Africa in general. Many men from Kenya and a bunch of African nations, South Sudan. I had the privilege of Richard was one of the guys who I had the privilege to be involved with at Kitwe Church, and he's a great guy who wants to serve the church there in South Sudan. So just pray that ministry will continue to grow and flourish, that men will continue to be trained, who can be then sent out by the churches in Zambia or by other churches in Africa. So
and I'm thinking about it, and we will pray for that. And in some ways, it's interesting. Christians are just Christians. People are people, because the church in America maybe doesn't need to think about missions as something that's being done to them.
Yeah.
But I think that you could pray for our church, that the ministry of the local church was not something done to them.
Yes.
Like you said, but that the body's doing it.
Yeah.
Right? So, I am not the receiver of church.
Yeah.
The African church is not the receiver of missions.
Yeah.
We are the congregation
we are
God has given us to
mission.
the Great Commission. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just different ways that shows up. So for people to kind of be like, oh yeah, we receive, and it's lay your life down like he did, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
it's
exactly
great.
right.
So, it's great. We'll be praying, man.
Pray for that. And I've had the opportunity to just do one-on-one discipleship with guys.
Yeah.
Just pray. There's some who I don't know if they're believers. There's at least one who I believe has come to know Christ. Just pray for he's a baby Christian. Just pray that he'll continue to grow.
Yeah. It's great.
So
it's great.
Yeah.
I love it. We will pray for you. And I would just invite you. This is a place where if you're listening to the podcast, it's made for Resurrection Church and Rooted Church.
Yeah.
The expression of the podcast is not supposed to be some kind of detached excuse to like find things out without relationships.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be an instigator for relationships. And I have seen it that way. So
good.
If you're listening to this, then you should reach out to Austin and Rachel. They're missionaries we sent. Tell them you listen to it. Tell them you're praying. Reach out to them and get to know them more, or maybe let this be the reminder to keep up with them. Because we don't want, they're here right now, but we don't want them to be people who are only on our mind when they're right in front of us.
Yeah.
We want to be connected collaborators in the gospel.
Yeah, and it'd be an encouragement for sure to hear from anyone who wants to talk to us. We'd love to get together, and even there's internet in Africa.
That's right.
We could do FaceTime.
You're a computer programmer.
We could do FaceTime even. Yeah. I lead a technology organization from there still.
Yes.
So
that's great. That's great.
It's great. Yeah.
All right.